was a time when owning a luxury vehicle meant that you had to fully commit financially. Reliability wasn't there. They were gas guzzlers. Insurance costs were high. And it begged the question, why would anybody own them other than the King and Queen of England? But things have changed. In 2026 now, luxury cars in many cases are more reliable and definitely in many cases are cheaper to run in a 5-year time frame than many of their non-luxury car counterparts. I'm going to share a list of 10 of those amazing luxury vehicles that are actually cheaper to run than many modern-day Toyotas, like 4Runners or even the Tundra. Let's get into it now. Life's too short to drive boring cars. Brand new 4Runners can cost anywhere from $2,000 to $3,000 to $4,000 in a 5-year time frame. Vehicles like the Camry might cost as much as $2,000 in a 5-year time frame. The Tundras, they're now up in that $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 in a 5-year time frame. Where do some of the lowest cost luxury cars fall? Buy the car that you love, because the first vehicle, one of the cheapest luxury vehicles, goes over to Lincoln with a total 5-year running cost of about $4,001. And let's be honest, a big part of that is the fact that a lot of these vehicles now have low service costs or maintenance plans that are included. Let's be also honest that it's largely a Ford product. Lincoln's not trying to be the most reliable brand on the planet. At $4,000, it's barely more than buying a Tundra. So if you're out there thinking, I'm going to buy a Toyota Tundra because it has this fake leather interior, or I could buy myself a new fully loaded leather interior, big panoramic sunroof on my Lincoln, it can actually cost very comparable dollars. As a matter of fact, many cases would argue that the Tundra is going to spend more time in the shop just chasing down the warranties and the recalls related to that new 3.4-liter twin-turbo V6. So Lincoln's the first one on our list. The next one on our list is Infiniti. That's right, the subsidiary to Nissan, which we know they've been struggling. Incentives are high, motivations to sell products are high, as well as the service network is really motivated to try to get your car in and out as cheaply as possible. As a matter of fact, in a 5-year time frame, Infiniti looks to be close to $3,791. Now, none of the concerns with CVTs or variable compression engines really matter in a 5-year time frame when most of these warranties are covering you 3 years bumper to bumper, in some cases 4 or 5 years for drivetrains. Most of these vehicles are covered under warranties, recalls, or extensions to that. Service bulletins also capture some of the problems. So if you were going to plan on owning a vehicle for 15 to 20 years, I personally wouldn't buy an Infiniti. They have had far too many issues. That said, you want to buy a vehicle like this that's flashy, unique, and highly incentivized with low cost of buying in? Infiniti is one of those that has the best, most aggressive lease rates right now. Just check it. They are one of the most motivated luxury car brands out there. The next one on our list goes to Cadillac. And when you think about vehicles like the Escalade, of course, they're going to come with a little bit more maintenance costs, operational costs. They're large and in charge, and that's their breadwinner. There's smaller models as well that you're finding. XT models, of course, Cadillac's had a variety of different trim levels and models to suit almost every budget. And one of their vehicles, certainly my favorite, is the Cadillac Escapade or Escalade. But let's be honest, with that 6.2-liter V8, it's had its share of issues too. Even with some of the smaller drivetrains, 5.3s, or some of the smaller turbocharged engines that Cadillac's putting out these days are highly strung, high-performance engines. They go like the demons. But you know what? Cadillac is actually a fairly affordable vehicle to own in a 5-year time frame, primarily because a lot of these maintenance plans are involved, and a lot of these engine problems that we have seen or transmission issues with the 10-speed autos are directly related to something that's tied up in a recall. So in most cases, if you have an engine problem or a transmission issue with a Cadillac, in most cases it's covered under an extended warranty, or NHTSA had its finger on it, or there's just summer extension with a bulletin. Cadillac, in a 5-year time frame, a very affordable vehicle brand to own, only costs you about $3,589 in that 5 years. Wow, that's not bad at all. The next one, of course, is part of the VAG group. We're not going to beat on the bush here. We know VAG, they've been cranking up prices for Porsche, Volkswagen, Audi because of the tariffs. That's been a real big thorn in their side. That being said, the maintenance costs, especially when you're into the smaller engine, the turbo 4-cylinder engines like the TFSIs, the EA888 engines, a lot of those engines are fairly low cost to maintain, at least for the first 5 to 7 years. Many of these vehicles won't necessarily last 10, 15, 20 years, and I would never say that an Audi is good for 180,000, 250,000 miles. In most cases, they generally won't last that long. They're high-strung, they tend to burn oil in many of their Turbo 4s, and the Turbo 5s, unfortunately, are going away, and the 4-liter twin-turbo V8s are amazing, but they're hugely expensive both to buy and as well as to maintain. That being said, if you're getting in the brand as an average, Audi is only going to cost you about $3,347 according to CarEdge, makes it a very affordable vehicle to own and operate, and really is in the same page as a vehicle like a Toyota 4Runner. So instead of buying a Toyota, why not maybe look at something like this? If you're the type of owner that doesn't keep it for more than 5 or 6 years anyway, who knows? No harm, no foul. You can get into some of these vehicles for cheaper than some of the more upper trim level Toyotas. The next one is, well, let's just say it used to be Swedish. Volvo has changed, and now their running costs are quite low. A lot of it has to do, again, with tall, small turbo, supercharged 4-cylinder engines. Quite often are still small engines and fairly cheap to maintain. So maintenance plans are a big part of that. They're extending oil service intervals out, and I'll never advocate for the longer service intervals. I still suggest 3,000 to 5,000 miles at the very most with the premium oils. But at the end of the day, if you're only keeping it for 4 or 5 years, you kind of go with the program. That said, the average Volvo in 26 is likely about $3,240 according to CarEdge in a 5-year time frame. Means it's a pretty affordable vehicle to own. Have you ever tried any of their new models with the turbo and supercharged 4-cylinder engines with the hybrid attached to it? Wow. They're actually very impressive. It's eye-opening. The next one's actually truly on my list of I must see. I've actually been shopping for some of these, and I'm kind of watching the prices on the used car market. I love the brand. I love the front grille. I love the style and the detail. I love the fact that it's Italian and it has a little bit extra verve. I love these cars even in their upscale quadrifoglio models. Of course, the Stelvio, or even better, we're talking about the Giulia, is one of my personal favorites. Of course, a lot of these Alfa Romeos these days, including the Tonale, are a relatively affordable vehicle to own in the first 5 years, largely because of maintenance plans. They are more reliable than people have ever given them credit for. And I'm not here to tout and say they're as reliable as a modern day Lexus. Probably not quite to that level. But honestly, these 2-liter turbo engines are pretty stout. There's not a lot of problems. And with the ZF 8-speed auto, that's what they're putting in everything. From BMWs to Jags to just about everything in between. That ZF 8-speed is also included in Jeeps. Some of the new Ram trucks, they're absolutely bulletproof. They predict your driving behavior. I had it in my F-Type. It was absolutely amazing. They're reliable, they quick shift, and they're definitely easy to maintain. That being said, the Alfa Romeo has an average brand cost for a 5-year time frame that's only $2,802 according to the guys over at CarEdge. Honestly, super affordable to own. Who wouldn't want to try one of these out? I mean, give it a shot. There's huge incentives on new. The used ones have depreciated so hard, so there's some great buys there. Why would you buy a base model Audi A4 or a base model Benz like a C300 when these kind of cars are just sitting there waiting to be picked up? I love this brand. It's too bad they're sort of dwindling out a little bit. Acura, I love them because they still have a 3.5-liter V6. You can get a 3-liter twin-turbo V6 in the MDX, but you can also get Turbo 4s. The RDX is amazing. The Integra is great, especially in the Type S or Type R, whatever you want to call it, with a manual gearbox, 2-liter turbo. That's the one to get. Skip the 1.5 with the CVTs. But ultimately, Acura is an amazing brand. And as a result, because they're Honda, even with a few little electrical gremlins and sensors maybe that lose contact with the main brain from time to time, the older Acuras have had some issues with some of the transmissions. The newer ones, very bulletproof. I love Acura brand. It's too bad they're not really getting the notoriety they used to have. They've got the great style, some of the great drivetrains and reliability. Amazing. And the low cost of ownership, like $2,715 over a 5-year time frame. Again, now you're cheaper than many modern Toyotas. Maybe not cheaper than a Corolla or a Camry. Those are typically in that $1,500 to $2,000 range. But boy, it sure is close. Is that differential in the fun driving experience with real leather instead of pleather, big full-size sunroofs instead of these wannabes, and proper heated steering wheels that cover the entire steering wheel instead of the top corner sections? Yes, it's worth it to me. I always truly believe that a lot of these luxury car vehicles are better made, have better tech, better drivetrains, and are just simply better to own. The Acura, definitely a brand that's competitive with Toyota in all senses, including service costs. Definitely one to think about. The second last you had to know, Lexus, right? In 5 years, $2,377, according to boys at CarEdge. Lexus vehicles are reliable, bar none. They've had some problems with that 3.4 V6. Careful with that one in the LX600 or now the GX550. Outside of that, the 2.4s seem to be holding their own. The 2.5s made it up with the hybrid, holding their own. The hybrids, the ECVTs, absolutely rugged and robust. And that's why a lot of the maintenance costs are low too. They just don't have the breakdowns. The service maintenance costs are fairly easy. You even get a massage and a spa treatment when you go into the dealership. So you actually look forward to going down to the dealership. Yeah, grab your free beverage, grab your foot massage, get your hair done. Why not? You're in Lexus land now, right? Number 10, the cheapest luxury vehicle on the market today that you could consider buying is on average going to cost $1,583 in a 5-year time frame. It's Tesla. Why? It's electric. The big hit comes after 10, 12, 15 years. Once the warranty and the battery runs out, then time will tell. That being said, in the first 5 years, dirt cheap. Low cost, tires, brakes, that's really all you're going to expect. Right there, my favorite vehicles that I would suggest buying, and right there, the vehicles you would want to avoid like the plague. Hope to see each and every one of you real soon, everybody. We'll catch you then. Bye-bye.